みなさん、こんにちは。ローズです。Welcome back to NihonGoal。このビデオでは、レッスン47番の文法を紹介します。でも、その前に、レッスン46番の文法を復習しましょう。First, we've learned about 何々ところ which means about to do something, in the middle of doing something, just finish doing something. So this will depend on the tense of the verb that you use. For example, これから食べるところです。I'm about to eat now. Next, we've also learned about 何々ばかり. So this means just finish doing something or something or an action just finished. For example, 起きたばかりです。I just woke up. And lastly, we've learned about 何々はず. This means it is certain, I'm sure, or supposed to, or should be. For example, 彼女は来るはずです。I'm sure she'll come. はい、大丈夫ですか? Before we begin, make sure to check out the vocabulary list for this lesson. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. Also, if you are looking for ways to support this channel even more, please consider becoming my Patreon through my Patreon page, which you will find in the description box below. And to all my Patreons, thank you very much. I really appreciate all your support. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into our lesson. Here are the grammar points for today's lesson. Our first grammar pattern is conveying or expressing information that we've obtained from another source. So we use the pattern verbs, adjectives, or noun in its plain form, followed by so or so des. This means I heard that nani nani. For this pattern, we need to use the plain form of the verb, adjectives, and nouns, followed by so des. So for example, for verb furimasu, we need to change it to plain form, which is furu. And for e-adjectives, for example, oishii, we just need to use it as is. We don't have to change anything. For na-adjective, for example, kire, we need to put da. So the plain form of kire desu is kireda. And for nouns, for example, ashita or tomorrow, we put also da after it. Instead of ashita desu, we say ashita da. And then we add so desu, which means I heard that nani nani. Remember, this expression is different from the one we've learned from lesson 43, which is also nani nani so desu. These two patterns are very different. They mean different things, and also the construction is different. So, if you'll notice, this pattern is very similar to the one which we've learned in lesson 43, which is the verb in stem form followed by so des. So, you have to be careful because they mean different things. And the construction of the sentence is also different. So, for this lesson, we use the plain form followed by so des, which means I heard from a source that nani nani. So here, the point is you have a source. The speaker is not putting his or her own opinion or not adding anything. But for the one which we've learned in lesson 43, we use the stem of the verb, or for e-adjectives, we remove e, followed by so des. So this pattern means that the speaker is saying his or her own opinion, judging from the appearance or the behavior. So this means that it looks or it seems like nani nani. For example, I heard that it will rain. So the speaker is just relaying an information from a source. So we say ame ga furu. So instead of furimasu, we change it to plain form. Ame ga furu so desu. I heard that it will rain. On the other hand, if we want to say it looks like it will rain based from what we see or what the speaker is seeing from the behavior of the clouds, we can use the 何々そうです which uses the stem of the verb. So instead of 降る we say 降り雨が降りそうです It looks like it will rain. And another example is using an E adjective. I heard that this food is delicious. この料理は美味しいそうです。この料理は美味しそうです。On the other hand, this food looks delicious. We say この料理は美味しそうです。So, notice that we remove E here. So, when we want to say our opinion or based from what we see, we give our opinion. So, we remove E here. この料理は美味しそうです。This food looks delicious. Okay, so let's take a look at more examples using the plain form そうです。For example, according to the weather forecast, it will be cold tomorrow. So the verb is to become cold, 寒くなります。So we say the source first, according to 天気予報, so weather forecast. So when we want to mention the source, we mark it with 何々によると according to 何々。明日は寒くなる instead of なります。We say 寒くなる followed by そうです。天気予報によると明日は寒くなるそうです。Next, when is the new manager coming? I heard it's tomorrow. So the speaker has a source. Here we have a noun, tomorrow, 明日。新しいマネージャーはいつ来ますか？明日だ。So we have a noun, so we add だ。明日だ。そうです。I heard it's tomorrow. I heard that Bali is very beautiful. So here we have a na adjective, beautiful, which is きれい。バリはとってもきれいだそうです。バリはとてもきれいだそうです。So this plain form そうです might be similar to the one we've learned in lesson 33. 何々と言っていました because we are just relaying information on both expressions. However, there's a difference. For example, I heard that Vincent is going to Kyoto tomorrow. So here, the speaker has a source, but not necessarily Vincent. It could come from a different source. So, we say, ヴィンセントは明日京都へ going is 行く We use the plain form, remember? Followed by そうです。ヴィンセントは明日京都へ行くそうです。So again, here the source is not necessarily Vincent. It could be a different person. However, when we say 何々と言っていました For example, Vincent said that he is going to Kyoto tomorrow. So here we know that the speaker heard the information from Vincent himself. And the speaker is just quoting what Vincent said and relying this information to whoever the speaker is talking to. So here we say, ヴィンセントは明日京都へ行くと言っていました。We can also directly quote what Vincent said. For example, ヴィンセントは明日京都へ行きますと言っていました。はい、質問タイムです。答えを選んでください。祇園祭りを見たことがありますか？いいえ、ありませんが、とても何々そうですね。1番、にぎやか。2番、にぎやかな。3番、にぎやかだ。4番、にぎやかの。答えは何でしょう？正解は3番です。いいえ、ありませんが、とてもにぎやかだそうですね。 Our next grammar pattern is conveying or expressing judgment using nani nani yo this. So this is when we have information that we perceive using our sensory organs such as our eyes, our ears, our nose. So basically, based from what we see, smell, taste, hear, or touch or feel. This can also be used with verbs, nouns, and adjectives. So for this pattern, for verbs, we use the plain form. For example, hikimashita, or to catch something, or for example, a cold. Hikimashita, we use plain, which becomes hita. For e-adjectives, we use as is. We don't need to change anything. Oishii, oishii. And for na-adjectives, for example, kirai. So we add na. Kirai means to dislike or to hate something. So kirai na. And for nouns, for example, byoki or illness, we add no. Byoki no. And then we add yo or yo desu. So let's take a look at some examples using nani nani yo desu, which means it seems or it looks like nani nani. For example, look, there is a crowd. It looks like an accident. A patrol car and an ambulance are there. So here, using his senses, the speaker is making his judgment. So from what he is seeing, there is a crowd and he sees a patrol car and an ambulance. So he comes up to a conclusion that there might be an accident. So here we have a noun, which is accident, jiko. So, 人が集まっていますね. Look, there's a crowd. Jiko no. So we have a noun, so we need to put no followed by yo desu. It looks like an accident. Jiko no yo desu ne. パトカーと救急車が来ていますよ. Another example. I have a cough and a headache. It seems like I've caught a cold. So here, the speaker is basing his judgment from what he is feeling. So here we have a caught a cold or to catch a cold. So we say 風邪をひきました. 咳も出るし. So to have a cough, 頭も痛い. To have a headache. So based from these evidence, the speaker assumes that or thinks that どうも. So here we use どうも. So this means a different thing. When we use どうも in this specific pattern, it means that the speaker is not very sure. So どうも風邪をひいたようです. It seems like I've got a cold. 咳も出るし頭も痛い. どうも風邪をひいたようだ. Another example. Lights are off. Seems like no one is here anymore. So our speaker assumes, based from what he's saying, lights are off. So he assumes that nobody is there anymore. So here we say 誰もいません. So we use the plain form. 電気が消えていますね. So the lights are off. もう誰もいないようです. 電気が消えていますね. もう誰もいないようです. Another example. That restaurant is always so crowded. It seems like the food there is delicious. So based from what the speaker is saying is always crowded, he thinks that the food must be delicious there, right? So here we have e-adjective おいしい. あのレストランはいつも混んでいます. 料理はおいしいようです. あのレストランはいつも混んでいます. 料理はおいしいようです. Miss Tanaka doesn't eat vegetables. It looks like she doesn't like it. So we have the na adjective 嫌い or to hate something. 田中さんは野菜を食べません. 嫌いな. So here we put na after a na adjective. 嫌いなようです. 田中さんは野菜を食べません. 嫌いなようです. Mr. Kawada went to the hospital. It looks like he is sick. Here we have a noun, 病気 or sickness. 川田さんは病院に行きました。病気のようです。川田さんは病院に行きました。病気のようです。So here we add no after a noun. As you can see, nani nani so des from lesson 43 is quite similar to this lesson's nani nani yo des because they both express judgment. However, they have a little bit of difference. So for example, teacher or the teacher is rushing around wherever he goes. He seems to be busy. So here the speaker sees the teacher and based from the behavior of the teacher made an assumption or made a judgment that he or she is busy. 先生はどこに行っても忙しで歩いています。忙しそうです。So here we remove I from the I adjective busy or 忙しい. We remove I to say it seems like or he seems to be busy. But when we say teacher is in a meeting and his desk is piled with many documents, it seems that he is busy. So here, 先生は会議中です。そしてテーブルの上にたくさんの書類が置いてあります。忙しいようです。So, both are giving judgment based from what they observe. But from the first one, the speaker just sees the teacher and based from that quick look, seeing the teacher going around, looking busy or walking fast, he thinks or he assumed that the teacher is already busy based from that behavior only. However, on the second one, the speaker sees a lot of evidences. So the teacher is in a meeting. He sees that there are many documents on his desk and maybe he heard something from somewhere. So using all these information, all these evidence, he made a judgment that the teacher seems that he is busy. So as you can see in the second one, nani nani yo desu, it sounds more like the speaker is sure compared to the first one. So the first one is just a quick judgment based from a quick observation. Okay, so I hope that clears the differences between nani nani so desu and nani nani yo desu. はい、質問タイムです。答えを選んでください。人が集まっています。事故が何々です。1番、ありましたよ。2番、あったよ。3番、会うよ。4番、ないよ。答えは何でしょう？正解は2番です。人が集まっています。事故があったようです。And lastly is when we perceived or sense something through our nose, our mouth, or our ears, we can use nani nani ga shimasu. If we want to say we hear a sound or a voice, we can say oto ga shimasu or koe ga shimasu. If we want to say that we smell something, we can say niyoi ga shimasu. And if we want to say that we taste something, we can say aji ga shimasu. So here we have oto or koe, niyoi, aji ga shimasu, meaning to hear, smell, or taste something. For example, there's a strange sound, isn't there? 変な音, strange sound. 変な音がしますね. Another example, it smells weird. Right, it seems something is burning. 変な匂いがしますね。何か燃えているようです。It tastes weird. It seems I got the soy sauce and sauce wrong. 変な味がするね。醤油とソースを間違えたようです。はい、今日のレッスンはどうですか？もし質問かコメントがあったら下に書いてくださいね。And if you find this video helpful, please don't forget to click the like button and share this video. And also don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the future lessons. I will see you in the next one.